Good morning. It's Tuesday, January 10th, 2023, and I'm happy to be here with my vlog for today. And today I'm going to express some things. This is going to be many of these are self-reflective. This is going to be self-reflective about my voice and some confusion and trauma that I used to have around my voice and around the idea of expressing myself and where I am now with that. And what partially inspired this was a friend and a YouTube follower or subscriber commented about the soothing quality of my voice. And I really appreciate that. There are some things that I experienced when I was younger that caused me to suppress my voice. And I'm going to share a little bit about that. This feels very vain, and I'm going to make some connections to the concept of vanity probably during this sharing. So just let me be vain. Richard Rudd says, if you're vain, there's nothing you can do about it. So, okay, so the first little bit of confusion and trauma that I have felt when I was fairly young, late grade school, early middle school, was when I would go to conferences or competitions, interscholastic competitions or camps or those kinds of things. I sort of got made fun of a lot for sounding country. And if you're not from the South in the United States, you may not know what that means. And I'm not going to go into my country dialect right now for you, but I responded to that. I felt like I was being made fun of for that. And I didn't want that, so I sort of began to consciously change the way I spoke. And this was an ongoing process over a number of years, including, into college. It didn't stop me from, I participated in prose and poetry and extemporaneous speaking competitions in school. So at least in an academic way, I didn't completely shut down. I still used my voice to express. However, I can say there were internal dynamics and characteristics of who and what I was that I was not expressing. So I was comfortable when I was speaking about an academic idea or expressing a piece of poetry that someone else wrote, but I wasn't expressing myself. So just kind of put that on the shelf. We'll come back to that. The other thing that happened is I remember multiple occasions because I worked in a cafe during high school and also a little gift shop type spot where I was responsible for answering the phone during high school. And I remember multiple occasions where I would answer the phone and the person on the other end of the line would refer to me as a ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So you can imagine like this young guy who's trying to find his identity and who perceives himself already as different and weird and who actually likes and appreciates his masculinity and wants to be seen and received that way. You can imagine the sort of emotional hits that you might get if someone is responding to you as a ma'am, as though you are a woman. And that's not the case any longer. I don't know if I completely understand the physiological maturation of how my voice and larynx works, but I don't think I sound like a woman now. So I don't know if I was just a late vocal bloomer or what, but it caused me to not want to answer the phone, and it caused me to not want to speak personally and express myself. But again, there was this weird dichotomy between, being able to speak in an academic situation and then actually being able to express myself in social situations. So as I became in the past more comfortable with my personal truth and my alignment with who and what I really am, I began to open up more and feel more comfortable sharing and feel more comfortable expressing myself and the truth of my being. And interestingly, I had a human design reading a couple of years ago when I first became aware of the human design system. And in that system, there's a gate 12 and a gate 22 that are part of a channel of openness. And I have this channel activated in my human design body graph, meaning that the influence of the celestial alignments at the moment of my birth activated this energy in me. And it has a lot to do with expression and social openness and grace in relating and those kinds of things. So when I had that human design reading, it was interesting for me to hear from the professional who was doing the reading, oh, you have this voice, this 1222 voice. I can hear that in your voice. And so I was like, oh, well, that's nice, And I've been doing acting lessons and all kinds of things, but there was never a conscious shift in my mind, like, oh, I have a voice I can use. I even had a dream one time where in the dream I was asked, why are you protecting your voice? Why are you protecting your throat even? So it's fascinating to me. But anyway, in response to this human design reading, I opened up even more. And that's when I began to actually, she made the suggestion that maybe I should go on a podcast or something. And so now I'm beginning to actually facilitate a podcast and share my voice. And there's another layer to this 1222, which has to do with your personal emotional wave and moodiness. And there's an aspect of just kind of reading. I would recommend to any of you who are interested in self-understanding, and I would recommend this book, The Definitive Book of Human Design, if you're interested in any of this stuff. And you can read all about this channel that I'm referring to. But because of reading it, I have actually also become more comfortable being moody, more comfortable with saying I'm an emotional person, I'm a moody person, and not denying or hiding from that. Again, when you're a sensitive person and you have circumstances and situations in your past, this is a universal phenomenon I think that many of us can relate to. But when you have had experience in the past that indicated to you that there was something wrong with you, you're weird, you're not okay, you're different from most people, you kind of develop some behavioral patterns to sort of protect yourself. And that happened to me, and it happened to me. And the manifestation of that was that I withheld what I was thinking and feeling, and I also didn't use my voice and didn't want to talk on the phone and didn't share with very many people. You get the picture. So what's the moral to this story? Thank you to the kind compliment, for the kind compliment to that being that shared it on YouTube. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my truths, occasionally my opinions, my moodiness, my emotions, my voice in this venue on this platform. And then similarly, if you are someone who, for whatever reason, has something to say but are suppressing your expression, my suggestion to you is that I'm here for you and I get it. And I encourage you to find the strength to begin to share what you have to say and how you have to say it. And then along with that, if you don't like your dialect, you may change it, because I did that. And along with that, perhaps I'll say, maybe some of the maturation of the tone of my voice occurred through the process of acting lessons, and I even did some vocal lessons at one point. There's a physiological component, like opening up the chest. It's about the way you breathe and all sorts of things. So maybe perhaps even the tone of your voice is elastic and flexible if you wish for that to change. And I have no problem aiming for an evolution or an expression or a change in one's self in the way you're presenting, and as long as it's feeling like a movement towards something that feels better or more exciting or thrilling or joyful or exciting to you. Exciting twice. Is Mercury retrograde? I don't know. I'm having a hard time communicating today. So I would encourage that. Claim your voice. Share your truth. If you have something to say, it is yours to share. So that's the vlog for today. Thank you all for joining me as always, and I will look forward to sharing again tomorrow. Thank you.